What's going on, everybody? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you like the Tobin and Leroy radio show, check us on out at the WQAM YouTube page. I'll put the link here. Subscribe. It is Miami 560 WQAM. And it is for all those who already joined, thank you. Appreciate it. Going into this long holiday weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday. Going to be live from spring training for the Miami Marlins. Excited to be out at Jupiter. But I don't know if you guys saw this. Fangs is getting introduced on Monday. He's having his first press conference. But I saw the sit-down that he did with Travis Wingfield from the Dolphins Drive Time podcast. And I got to say, I want to be in that secret Fangs war room. All right? Like, this guy was he was talking something to the effect of he took this year away from football as like a sabbatical. As if he was a college professor. Professor Fangs is what they call him. And, you know, he sunk his teeth right into some film because he apparently had football wall to wall. And even Fangs couldn't help himself because Fangio was out there. Vic Fangio's drawing up plays, different coverages, all types of exotic stuff. So when I heard that from Vic Fangio, I was like, oh, I like that. And I got to be honest with you, everybody out here who's giving Fangs any kind of blame for what the hell happened to the Eagles during the Super Bowl, you're a dummy. I mean, this Eagles defense, everybody was sitting around here, waltzing around, treating it like it was the 85 Bears, willy-nilly. This guy comes in here, he's not even he's consulting the offense on a team that he knew very well from the division, and everybody's giving him some type of blame. Get the hell out of here. Why? Because you guys didn't even know who the Eagles defensive coordinator is now that he is the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. You're just learning all these people's names. Yeah, I get it too. You wouldn't have known because you had this Nick Sirianni boo-hooing all over the place and he was stealing all the headlines. But the fact is, you know, this Vic Fangio, not his fault. Get the hell out of here. I mean, wouldn't you know, like 9 people were trying to steal him from the Dolphins. You know, that's what got me all upset. Stop trying to steal Fangs. The other thing was, so I clicked on ESPN today, and I've gotten duped by this before, where they were all like, "Oh, will the Dolphins win the Super Bowl?" And I was like, last time I did this, you guys tricked me. I think it was like, can the Dolphins make a playoff run without Tua? And it was basically like, no. And I was like, well, what the hell is that? Why would you tease me like that? Why would you put that out there, ESPN? But instead, what they did was they had a rankings of basically like it was like 10 experts on topics, and it was something to the effect of like Super Bowl pick, MVP pick, and breakout star. Now, mind you, one of the experts was Mike Tannenbaum, so take it with the biggest grain of salt. And notice I will skip over his because, you know, basically everybody kept about the same cast of characters. They went either 49ers, Bengals, Chiefs. That's pretty much where everybody went. And it was like 49ers, Bengals, Bengals, 49ers, Chiefs, Chiefs, 49ers, Bengals, 49ers. Everybody's got the 49ers representing the NFC, which I find interesting. They don't, you know, they got Brock Purdy, who, you know, like, let's make sure that he didn't just have some flash in the pan half season. They got a quarterback situated with Trey Lance. They have no idea if his leg is going to work. And then who knows? They may go back to old shoe Jimmy Garoppolo by the all end of it. But, you know, roll with it. Whatever makes you happy. Tannenbaum actually picked the Bengals over the Cowboys. So at least he got a little original with his NFC team. But this dude, Seth Walder, who I don't know. I've never heard of him in my life. I have no idea who Seth Walder is. I don't recall reading anything from him. I don't mean to disrespect him. I'm sure he's a fine guy. I just have never heard of him. Or don't, you know, I don't read his work on the reg, but he's a numbers guru, you know, one of these numbers guys. He picked the Dolphins over the Eagles. He picked the Dolphins. He was one of their experts, and he said when the Dolphins had Tua Tagovailoa on the field, they generated a 0.13 expected points added per play, slightly better than the Bills did with Josh Allen on the field. Now they add Vic Fangio to fix a defense that already had some star power. Sign me up. Well, listen here, dude. Balls to the Walder. Sign me up for whatever the hell you're writing, because I like it. All right? I don't even know what the hell that is. Point expected plays. It sounds good. You said it was better than Josh Allen. You sold me. I'm in, dude. So Seth Walder, new fan. You know what? I'm doing this right now. Seth Walder, bink, followed on Twitter. There you go. I am locked in. That is a lifetime contract, Seth. There we go, dude. The other thing that came out, there was another list from NFL.com that had they had ranked all of the quarterbacks from this season, all of them, not just the starting quarterbacks, not just one of your Chris Sims. They ranked all of the quarterbacks that had started a game. They ranked. And for the Dolphins, they had for Skylar's the limit, 49. All right. And what's this dude's name? His name is Mark Sessler, if you guys want to check this out. But he wrote for Skylar Thompson, a preseason hero. Thompson was shoved into action after a rash of concussions swept out Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater from the lineup. The rookie hit on 57.1% of his passes at 5.1 yards per throw in the same offense that saw Tua lead the league at 8.9 yards per heave. His wildcard start against Buffalo featured 27 incompletions, a killer delay of game penalty, and a pick deep in Dolphins territory. Thompson also made a handful of throws and was hardly the only figure to blame in the 34-31 loss. He's done enough to hang around as a reserve. All right, so you got that for him. And I agree. I think this whole thing about the Dolphins going with a another veteran backup, I'm fine with them going with Skylar Thompson as the backup. I really am. He also needs time to grow. And I think the whole point of having a young guy back there, you're going to develop him. You're going to have him learn some things. He looked fantastic in the preseason. They obviously see the talent there. He's got to get quicker with his decisions. He's obviously got to get quicker in getting plays in. But, I think the whole point, if you're going to get an old guy, you want them to be durable. That was the big problem with Teddy. You hoped to have a guy who was going to be reliable and ready at the call of the bell when, Tua would be out. And I certainly think I get wanting to put a lot of money in that if you're the Dolphins. I just don't think it really paid off this year with Teddy, other than, a pretty good display against like Minnesota when he wasn't supposed to start, and a pretty good display against like the Bengals. Yeah, I thought Teddy left a lot to be desired this year for sure. He was ranked 32nd, by the way, on this list. And he said Bridgewater hits free agency after a frustrating backup effort in Miami that saw him exit a pair of starts with a concussion and a pinky injury. Teddy's plug-and-play starting days are in the rearview mirror, but he remains one of the league's top backups. Well, we'll see. It was a cool thing to have him around for sure, but I don't know. I think that they did that experiment. And then for Tua, burying the lead here, Tua was number 7 overall on his list. The list went Tua, then Trevor Lawrence at 6, Justin Herbert at 5, Josh Allen at 4, 3 Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, who's the only NFC quarterback in the top, and Patrick Mahomes at number 1. And, I say for this, like, first of all, this list included playoffs. So you have everybody there who made the deep run. That's obviously why you have Hurts and Patrick Mahomes there up top. But to have Tua, it was one of those things where it's like, all right. And he was ranked on these rankings by Kessler last year at 22. The year before that, he was ranked 28. So a big jump up for Tua on these rankings. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the montage that the organization tweeted out, but it was Goosies galore. It really was. But even more Goosies than the Goosies were like, I love when the teammates are chiming in on the same thing. Like, they tweet out Uno with his montage. Jalen Waddle, the one for real. Oh, Goosies. Love that. And then, and I love, by the way, old Fangs going back to that interview when he's like, Travis asked him what the thing that would keep him up at night the most as a defensive coordinator, as they'll go up and practice a bunch against each other, I'm sure. The thing that got me going was when he was like, you could just see like how, he has the respect to the speed that goes around there with the 2 receivers and how the offense was run. I was enjoying that very much. That was an exciting one. And then finally, we had this ominous post. I don't know if people are on this anymore when it comes to Mike Gesicki, because I feel like most people think Mike Gesicki's gone, right? But he had posted year 5, patience, persistence, and professionalism. Year 6, fueled by year 5. Just keep going in the zip face emoji. And then it's like a montage of 10 photos. He's coming out of the smoke. He's walking into a game. He's doing his Gesicki gritty, leapfrogging Durham Smythe, kissing Mrs. Gesicki, getting a touchdown catch against the Ravens, stiff-arming a dude on the Lions, doing a little bump, another spin, and then doing his gritty dance, and then flexing and showing his pipes, and then showing the deuces sign. I don't know if that last one, that is the last picture. I don't know. Could be something. Could be nothing with him giving the deuces. I don't know. But it would seem, I don't know how much people are like going to get crazy about Mike Gesicki cryptic posts, because it felt like he already said goodbye with that long letter that he had at the end of the season. So I don't know. Definitely something to keep an eye on, as you know, we're going to start getting into the whole nitty-gritty of the off season. But that was a thing that was out there. Mike Gesicki on his Instagram post. Patience. Definitely had patience, persistence, and professionalism. I do think this. He did carry himself with a very, very professional manner this year. His professionalism was definitely noticeable, even in a year where you knew he probably wanted to be in a system where he's getting more opportunities and wanted to be under a long-term deal. Those are things that people can make a real stink over, and he did not. So you have to give Big Mike some credit for that. But listen, the Goosies were flowing all around today, man. They really were. Between the Fangio interview and the Tua montage, all was Goosey in Dolphins land today.